Hi, how we doing? It's week 4, Culinary 121, Menus and Facilities class. Hopefully you guys are doing well. The project coming along. All right, I know it's a lot of work, I really do. But hopefully you're able to do that in the courses 108 and the 110 class and working those off of this one, that your main one here. Okay, you have lots of projects that are due this week. We're actually going to have a quiz this week, and I'm going to give that to you today, and you'll have 24 hours to make it done. You have to make it up in one day, 24 hours. All right, so let that loose tomorrow, and it's a essay one, so you have to write on there. Got 4 questions, 25 points each on those questions. All right, so with this going into week 4, I appreciate all your hard work on this online learning. I mentioned it in a previous video, how I got my master's degree online. It wasn't easy, you know, being a husband, going to work, having 2 toddlers running around, a 3 and a 4-year-old, a dog. I mean, I've been there. I know how it is. I did that for 2 years. 2 years of doing that. So you have to stay focused. And even though we're in a class time, it doesn't really mean 9 o'clock to 11 o'clock. It's pretty much an all-day event. So whenever you have time to do this course, get it done in that day. You know, that's the beauty of it. You can, you know, do it in your pajamas, of course, but you know, you pick the time in the day when the kids are taking a nap, and when it's not that crazy in the house, when you're off of work, you know, and you have some downtime. But you have to have downtime. You have to have don't bother me time. You have to do that. So let your family know that, you know, give me 30 minutes, give me an hour, and I'll be right out to play with you guys. Okay? But please text me, email me like you all are doing. And if you need any assistance, let me know. Okay? Make sure you do all the work on Moodle. If we're having issues with that, let me know. Anything that was sent out to me via email, documents that you've done, please try to copy and paste those back into Moodle for me, okay? All right, great. So today, we're getting into budgeting. And it's the PowerPoint presentation that we're going to do today. We're getting into the nuts and bolts, the dirty gritty, nitty gritty of restaurants. It's yes about food, and yes about liquor, beer, and wine. Anybody can cook, anybody can serve beer and wine. But if you really want to make it in this hospitality industry, in this career, you need to know the numbers, and you need to get into it fast. You need to volunteer at your restaurant and say, hey, can I help you with the budget? Can I help you with inventory? Can I help you with receiving? Can I help you with costing out menus? When they find out that you're really in-depth and interested in with that, your kitchen manager, your chef, they'll go, wow, they're really into it. Let's get these guys and push this guy along, or gal along, and maybe we can get these guys into supervisor slots. So, but you need to know that. You need to know what's going on in the numbers game. And that's why this Menus and Facilities class brings it all together, what you've learned, all right, in all your past classes, bring it all together and puts it in a project, a nice little package that helps you understand what it takes to build a restaurant, okay? And it's your restaurant, all right? So I'm gonna go over Managing for Profit. It's chapter 13 on the PowerPoints, all right? Let me get into this one. And getting a budget is sounds like an easy thing to do, but it's kind of difficult. Like in your restaurant or in your personal life right now, your budget's your paycheck, right? So you're making X amount of dollars, and you have all these expenses that you need to do, and whatever's left over, that's your play money, right? So kind of goes the same way with the restaurant. All that profit that's coming in, or all that income that's coming in, is not profit. All the income that's coming in, right, needs to be allocated into all the costing going out, and then you get your contribution margin at the end, correct? All right, so with the budget, you have to figure out what's going on, the history, what's happened in the past, what's happening in the future, right? So the challenge is managers to recognize the importance of sales, when projecting expenses, allows them to carefully prioritize the sales demands, right? So with the budget, all right, you're gonna have your budgeted sales minus your budgeted expense gives you budgeted profit. Right? That's the formula right there. So budgeting sales, you have to review the data from previous years. You have to evaluate all the changes that are happening internally in your restaurant and externally. Internally, it could be you're in a college town, right? And the college is going away, kind of like we did in the Cordon Bleu in Orlando. When that Orlando Cordon Bleu closed down, it took a big hit in the community with SeaWorld, Universal, and Disney, because they used a lot of our students that were at Cordon Bleu for employees, and they took an internal hit because they're going to lose all their staff, right? So, or people coming in. And then you got external threats that are coming through. Unfortunately, we have the coronavirus. That's an external environmental threat that we didn't know about. So when you're making your budget for next year, you're going to have this downtime for these last couple months. So you're going to probably have like 0 sales or very little sales to put in your budget for next year. And you should be thinking about working on your budget right now. During the summer, spring and summer is when you start the budget process, because it needs to be done by October, November at the latest. So you get it up and running in December going into January. All right, so right now you should be thinking about things in charge of your budget. Are we going to increase our floor space? Are we going to make an addition to the outside? Are we going to put a patio outside? Or are we going to take tables away, right? That's what they're doing. You got to make that safety space right there, right? Social distancing. So they might be taking tables away and seats away. So you're going to have to re-budget for that. Man, I mean, that's long process you have to do with, right? So with that, you got the long-term effect of menu changes. Pork prices, beef prices, they're going to go sky high because those processing plants were closed down. You got to think ahead of that. Are you able to purchase some product and put it in the freezer for down the road? Are you able to purchase pallets of product and have your purveyor store it for you or house it for you? You know, you got to think about menu changes. Are we going to do menu changes this year? Absolutely. Are we going to do it once a year, twice a year, 4 times a year? Right? These are all the things that go into the budget. And you got to think about price changes. Usually the budget, and you do a menu change, the prices usually change a little bit. They don't have to, but they usually, because you're doing a cost of living, COLA, you have to do a cost of living to make sure that increase goes. Okay? All right. So you're monitoring the budget during the process, the actual. So during the year, you're going to have monthly inventories, and then you're going to have a monthly profit and loss statement. And with that profit and loss statement, it's going to be based off your budget. All right? But the budget's kind of a living, breathing thing. It can morph into something, but you have to be very clear on that. You got to be, like right now, they're changing their budgets with the coronavirus. They have to change drastically their budget. So quarters 2 and 3 are going to be terrible. All right, they're going to be terrible. There will be very low sales. Quarter 4 at the end of the year will probably start to go back up. You have to actually put that in your budget. You have to put it in your business plan. You have to let everybody know that happened. All right? So monitoring the budget means you're doing income statements, you're doing the profit and loss income statement, you're doing your budgets, you're finding out what's going wrong, if something wrong is going with your budget or your inventory, right? Something wrong is going with inventory, you gotta figure out where that inventory level is. That's why I recommend not doing monthly inventories, but actually doing weekly inventories for food and liquor, beer, and wine. Absolutely. Weekly inventories, do it Sunday night, Monday morning, get it done. All right? So very important to do that so you can take corrective action as soon as possible. And that's the deal. If you wait on it, you'll lose more money. And it's also a good thing. Why are we getting good numbers? Why is our liquor cost going down? Why is our food going down? Our food costs going down? Well, we got to figure out the best practices. We like the way that's going, so let's keep this best practice going. Right? But the only way you're going to find that out if you do the inventory and you stay up on the budgets. All right. ROI. ROI. Return on investment. Everybody that you're going to borrow money from for your restaurant, your cafe, your bakery, they're going to ask for return on investment. What can I expect to get if I'm going to give you X amount of dollars? What kind of return on investment am I looking at? And you're going to have to figure that out. You're going to have to figure out a 10% or a 5%. You're looking at $100,000 that they gave divided by, say, like 1,000, which is 10%, or 5% would be 2,000. They're looking to bring in, they want $1,000 or they want $2,000. That's going to decide on your ROI, return on investment. All your board of directors, the other owners, stockholders, all that, they're going to look for return on investment. All right? So revising the budget, right, could happen when somebody closes next to you or opens next to you. Another restaurant, next door closes, and a new one came in and they're doing, really good, and they're taking some guests away from you. Maybe you're opening by the same or different ownership, a different restaurant right down the street, in the same area. How about when you always see a McDonald's and a Burger King right next to each other? Kind of like in my glory days at the Hard Rock Cafe, there was a Hard Rock Cafe and there was a Planet Hollywood pretty much right next to each other. All right, so with that revising the budget, like we just said about the coronavirus, they put in a stop sign, they put in a traffic light, construction on the road. Washington Road was always under construction. The last past years, that would hurt. That would definitely hurt your business. So you have to look at that. All right. Disasters, we're just talking about that. So maybe changing your operating hours. You're just going from, let's say at the Pinnacle Club, we're looking at reopening soon, but we're not going to do dinner. We're going to do dinner once a week. That's going to be on a Friday, and we'll just do lunch all the way through, and we're going to be off Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Be closed. So Tuesday through Friday to start. This is what we're starting. A la carte lunch and dinner only on Friday night. So these are the things that you have to look at and take control of. Corrective action. It's pretty much everything you got to do. You got to get that problem, find out the problem, prioritize all the problems that are going on. Then can you manage them or can't you manage them? Do you need some extra help? Do you need lawyers' involvement? Do you need your stockholders? Do you need your board of directors? Or can you actually do it internally? You can fix these problems. All right, define the problem, generate solutions, evaluate solutions, the best solution, all right, and then implement that, and then evaluate the effectiveness of that solution. There's lots of steps with that. Just because you're making a decision to the process and changing that, you have to make sure that you're following that too, right? You have to follow that up. And what they say in my management training, and there's 4 steps to being a good manager: follow up, follow up, follow up, and follow up. So whatever you're asking somebody to do, you need to follow up on it, right? Assets and liabilities, working on that. 3 types of assets: your current assets, your property and equipment, and other assets. So your building, your tables and chairs, your staff, all the food, all the liquor, all right, your billboards that you have around, all right. But one of those big assets that you always have to keep in mind is the goodwill, all right, the goodwill that you're dealing with, the goodwill that you are there at your restaurant all the time, and you're providing goodwill to all your guests, all right? Give me a second. All right, Pierce? All right, so, I got my son looking at me, he's like, oh, I want to go out and play. right? But you have to really check in on all those assets and make sure that, including the goodwill, is all put in there. All right, so that's a quick one on chapter 13 PowerPoints. We can get in there a little bit more, but hopefully that'll help you in what you're doing with your project. And keep everything going. Remember, we got this quiz that I'm giving you. Make sure it gets done within 24 hours. All right, so it'll be midnight of the day of the night, and get that done for me. Okay. All right. Have a great day.